You're not lazy. You know that somewhere, but you've stopped believing it because you've been tired, really tired, for so long that tired stopped being a feeling. It became your personality, your baseline, the thing you explain away to people when they ask how you're doing. I'm okay, just tired. Your body feels like it's running on a signal it can't find. You rest, but the rest doesn't land. You sleep, but the sleep doesn't restore. You take a break, and the whole time you're breaking, there's a voice underneath everything saying you should be doing something. That voice isn't a character flaw. It's a nervous system that was never taught how to turn off. And today, that changes. Picture Sunday night. It's 10 p.m., you're lying in bed, you're not scrolling, you're not watching anything. You're just there, body done, mind still going. You tell yourself, just sleep. You tell yourself you're exhausted. You can feel it in your shoulders, behind your eyes, in the particular heaviness that sits in your chest by the end of the week. But something won't let go. And the worst part isn't the exhaustion. The worst part is what you do with it. You start doing the math. Everything you didn't finish today, everything that needs to happen tomorrow, some part of your brain has opened a spreadsheet and it won't close. You've tried resting, you took the weekend off, you even took a vacation once and spent half of it planning what you'd do when you got back. I don't even know what I enjoy anymore. You've said that, maybe not out loud, but you've thought it. That quiet, unsettling realization that somewhere in the last few years, you stopped being a person who has preferences and became a person who has a to-do list. You're not depressed, you're not broken, you're just tired all the time in a way that doesn't have an easy name. Here's what nobody tells you about why this keeps happening. You've been told the solution to burnout is rest, and you believe that. You do. On some level, you know you need to slow down, but you also believe, with equal force, that every time you stop, you fall behind, that the world keeps moving while you're catching your breath, that rest is something you have to earn, and you haven't earned it yet, and you probably never will. You hold these as true, and they are tearing you apart. Because here's the thing about a nervous system in burnout. It doesn't know the difference between a deadline and a lion. It only knows one thing. Is it safe to stop? And yours has learned over months or years that the answer is no. So when you lie down, it stays on. When you take a break, it keeps scanning. When you go on vacation, it comes with you because it's not reacting to your schedule. It's reacting to a pattern it was trained to follow. You weren't lazy when you built that pattern. You were surviving. You were meeting expectations. You were doing what worked. The problem isn't that you're too weak to rest. The problem is that your nervous system genuinely believes rest is dangerous, and no amount of willpower fixes that, because willpower lives in the same system that's exhausted. By the end of this video, you won't just have a technique. You'll understand, maybe for the first time, why rest hasn't been working, and what your nervous system actually needs before it can receive it. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. Before we go further, there's one thing that people in chronic burnout almost universally do in the first 10 minutes after they sit down to rest, and it's the exact thing that keeps them from actually resting. I'll tell you what it is in a few minutes. You're probably going to recognize yourself immediately. Your stress response has a beginning, a middle, and an end. In nature, in the environment your nervous system was built for, you'd feel the threat, respond to it, survive it, and then your body would physically complete the cycle. Shaking, crying, running, some kind of discharge, and then safety. But modern burnout doesn't look like that. Modern burnout looks like 50 small threats a day, emails, notifications, expectations, the ambient pressure of never quite being enough that never fully resolve. The cycle starts over and over and over, but it never completes. So the activation just builds and builds. Your body isn't broken, it's full of incomplete stress cycles that had nowhere to go. Every wellness account, Every self-help book, every well-meaning person in your life has told you the same thing. You just need to rest more. Here's what they're missing. Telling a dysregulated nervous system to rest is like telling a car alarm to calm down. The alarm isn't broken, it's doing its job. Telling it to be quieter doesn't turn it off. Rest without nervous system regulation doesn't restore, it just pauses. That's why you can sleep for 9 hours and wake up exhausted. That's why the vacation didn't work. That's why you can take a full Saturday off and somehow feel worse by Sunday. You weren't doing rest wrong. You were doing the wrong thing before rest, and nobody told you what that thing was. And here's the smaller one, the one that'll stick with you. Doing nothing is not the same as recovery. Lying on the couch scrolling is not rest for a depleted nervous system. It's just a different kind of input. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a work notification and a social media notification. It's still scanning, still processing, still on. Recovery requires something specific. Not nothing, something safe. There's a difference. Daniel was 31, project manager, 8 months of back-to-back sprints. He finally took a week off. Day 1, he checked email from bed, just to keep things from piling up. Day 3, he made a list of everything he'd need to do when he returned. Day 6, he sat on the couch, TV on, nothing demanding anything from him. He felt nothing, not relief, not rest, not joy, just a low, flat hum and a voice underneath everything. You're wasting time. He told me, I did everything right. I took the break. Why didn't it work? Because Daniel's nervous system had one job, stay ready, and it was exceptional at that job. The vacation didn't come with a signal that said, it's actually safe to stop now, so it didn't stop. It just idled. Daniel didn't need more time off. He needed to teach his body what safe felt like. Slowly, deliberately, in a language the nervous system actually speaks. When he learned that, everything shifted. So what is the one thing people in burnout do in the first 10 minutes of trying to rest? They plan their rest. They sit down and immediately think, okay, I have 2 hours. What's the most efficient way to use this? They optimize their recovery. They research the best meditation app. They make a list of relaxing activities. They turn rest into a project. And the moment they do that, the nervous system gets the signal, we're still working. Stay on. The body can't receive rest, it's simultaneously managing. This is the trap, and almost no one names it. Here's the part nobody expects. The path out of burnout exhaustion isn't discipline. It's not a better morning routine. It's not just saying no more. It's completion. Your nervous system needs to finish the cycles it started, not suppress them, finish them. And the most reliable way to do that has nothing to do with your calendar. It has to do with your body. You've been fighting yourself. You've been calling exhaustion laziness, calling depletion weakness, calling a dysregulated nervous system a personal failure. And all of that has taken so much energy on top of the exhaustion itself. Here's what's actually true. Your nervous system learned to stay on because staying on kept you safe. It learned that production meant value and stillness meant danger. It learned these things from your environment, from everything you were rewarded for and everything you were punished for over years. It did not learn them because something is wrong with you. You were never lazy. You were running a system that was never designed to turn off, and no one gave you the manual. Now you have one. 3 steps, 1 each week, in order, because each one builds the foundation for the next. Step 1, discharge before you rest. Before you sit down to rest, give your body 10 minutes of physical completion, not exercise for fitness, movement for discharge, a brisk walk, shaking out your hands and shoulders, anything that signals to your body, the threat is over, we made it through. This is the step that makes rest actually land. Nervous systems complete cycles through the body, not through the mind. Step 2, define what safe feels like for you. Safety isn't a concept, It's a sensation. For some people, it's a specific chair, a specific light, a specific person. This week, pay attention to the moments, even brief ones, when your body is slightly less braced. Start cataloging those. You're mapping your nervous system's geography of safety. You can't rest somewhere you don't feel safe. Step 3. Practice purposeless for 5 minutes daily. Not meditation, not journaling, not productivity adjacent. Just 5 minutes of doing something with no output for no reason. Sit in the sun. Watch the street. Doodle. The goal is to build tolerance for stillness without the guilt alarm firing. This is a practice, not a fix. The first week it'll feel wrong. That's the point. You're retraining a pattern. You came here tired, not just physically tired of explaining yourself, tired of pushing, tired of feeling like everyone else figured out something you missed. Something in you kept asking anyway, kept looking, kept refusing to accept that this is simply who you are now. That part of you was right. You weren't broken. You were solving the wrong problem. You were trying to rest harder when what you needed was to teach your body that rest was safe. That's not a weakness. That's something that was never taught to you, and now you know it. Carry that differently this week. If something in this clicked, there's more where that came from.